If you want to learn how to get shots like this, or this, or this, I'm going to show you the setup you need to do it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Wolfpack. Look, no one talks about this, no one breaks it down. We're going to change that today and show you how you need a core essential part, a pivotal part to setting up a professional top-down shot if you are filming board game content. And all of that has to do with a C-stand. Now, is this a cheap setup? No. Is it reliable? Yes, it's lasted me 6 years, both in studio and across the country. We've used it on travel shoots, we've used it on real commercials, and it has never failed me once. The last thing you want to do is stick a $7,000 camera on a janky C-stand. What would you rather lose? Your $7,000 camera or skimp out on the foundation to that and have this C-stand break? So you don't want something that is not reliable. To make it easy, everything that I'm using today is gonna be linked down below. Okay, so the first thing you need is a base. This is what's gonna hold the entire setup together. Now what I use here is called a Kupo turtle base. And the reason why, I don't really know why it's called a turtle base, but maybe it's because of this mechanism. You open this where it says unlock. As soon as you open this twists forward like that. And this is wonderful for travel shoots. The first thing you need. Now the other thing you can use alternatively is this wheeled base. So for me, I upgraded all of my bases for wheels because I hate having to pick up this foundation every single time. It's the most annoying thing. So when I can use wheels, I use wheels. And plus, because I have hardwood floor, wheels make it much easier. I did have carpet before, and carpet, you know, when wheels and stuff usually don't mix. These set of wheels don't really work that well on carpet. Now, if you want the cheaper alternative, this Kupo C-stand turtle base actually comes with the next part I'm gonna show you. Now this right here is a riser column, or the pole. This pole goes into one of the two bases that I just showed you. So the one with the wheels, you can put that in there and it'll lock in place, or you can put it into the turtle base. You need to make sure this is tight because then you don't have any kind of wobbliness from the whole foundation. Strong foundation, everything else is strong. Now the wheels also fold up too. There's actually a little click lever here. So as soon as you push that, these wheels can fold right up like this, which is pretty nice, but again, it's also still hard to travel because A, you have these very sharp points, and in the Pelican cases that I use, these wheels get in the way, and you can't take off these wheels, which is super annoying because then this one wheel right here actually prevents me from using this on travel, which is why the turtle base, when this one folds up, it makes it a lot easier. So if you want a base that's easy to travel with, the turtle base is a lot easier. But if you want something to use more at home and something that you can wheel around everywhere, then of course the wheels will be better. Now, if there's one thing that you take away from today's video, it is this. When you're using any of these C-stands, you need to make sure that the leg that extends needs to be, like the one that is the furthest apart, needs to be pointed towards the camera, because if not, it is going to be completely imbalanced and it will fall. So the turtle base, the longest leg, is pointed this way towards the table. Same thing with the wheels. These wheels here can actually, there's one side that can extend, and that's important because this extension gives more balance to the overall structure. So I can close this up, or I can pull it out. And then I'll tighten that, and it'll be pointed again towards your camera. Okay, now the next thing you need is the Kupo grip head. This is $44. This is going to land on top of that column. Now this column, by the way, comes in a 20-inch or a 40-inch. I use the 40-inch because my table is pretty tall, I'm tall, and the taller you get, then the more bigger games you can get. And since I typically cover bigger games, then I need a taller riser. But for the most part, you can get by with the 20-inch riser, which I also have too, and I use for smaller games. So this right here can't grip onto anything. You need to build that grip first, and this is why we have the grip head. So this grip head has a hole here, and this hole fits into here, and now you tighten this up. Now the other side is a little confusing because this twist allows you to move out this mechanism. And this wheel has a grip which attaches in one specific spot. Reason why that's important is because now we introduce something called a boom arm. This boom arm is going to attach here. Now you see this hole? That attaches to this pin. So when you spin this together and tighten it up, you need to make sure that this pin actually lines to this hole. Because if not, it's just gonna hold it on and it's gonna be a little air pocket. And if you have an air pocket, then it will not grip the boom arm tightly. And then we're gonna tighten this side. Now there are two clamps on this pole. The first one allows you to move the back more, and this is good for balancing, but I usually will leave this extended that way so there's more weight on that end while you put on your camera. So we're gonna lock this in place, and then we're gonna attach something here because right now the camera still can't mount to this. We need one more grip head. So you all know what this grip head does now. We know it's gonna attach to the end of the steel boom arm that I just showed you. Now this contraption all fits into the grip head because right now this still can't grip a camera. Ultimately, we're trying to get to here because this piece is a ball head. You put your camera right on top. And the thing is, when you take this apart, this is the order. You have the grip head, you have this metal spigot, and the metal spigot will be gripped onto this grip head. We tighten this. And lastly, this 3/4 inch screw is going to attach to the bottom of this ball head. So now this screws in place, and this entire contraption is what attaches to that steel boom arm. Now we're finally ready to attach our camera. Wrong. If you thought we were ready, we are not ready. There's one other thing missing here. Can you guess what that is? Before you put on a camera on here, we need to balance that out. So that needs a water bag. I would avoid using sandbags. The only reason you would need to use a sandbag if you want something more dense and if you have a very, very heavy setup on this end, sure, sandbags are fine, but water bags are so much better because they're bags that you literally fill up with water, and as soon as you're done with them, you can empty them out. They are perfect for travel because what I usually do for all of our travel shoots is we empty it out, and then we get to set. You're not gonna find sand on set, but you will always find water. So when in doubt, just use water bags. They're so much easier and they will be hooked right onto this hook at the end. Sadly, this pole here, this attachment doesn't come off in case you need it for anything else, but this is made specifically to attach a heavyweight bag on it. Even though this is a sandbag, my water bags are currently MIA. I don't know what happened to them. I think they're still in our luggage and stuff, but this is a sandbag and these suck because sand will always rip out through them. But for example's sake, you put that back there. Now the second takeaway, so you can avoid having a finger that is messed up like I did, and I had a black finger for like 20 videos in a row until it finally healed. And the reason for that is because I am properly using a C-stand. So when you have this entire setup, you wanna make sure everything is pulled tight. And if you need to adjust it, take the sandbag, take the camera off before you adjust it, or else you'll end up with a finger like mine. And you do not want a left-handed finger like mine, because there goes my hand modeling career. I'm gonna lift it up to a height that I know I need it to be at. And that height is above my camera because my camera is gonna be facing this way. I know that if I'm facing this particular angle, this top-down setup needs to be above it. That way you hide whatever's in frame. See, right now you can't see the C-stand at all in this particular frame. And that's why I really love this steel boom arm, because it can go all the way. It can go through the entire length of the counselor table and even further than that. So I'm gonna put it right about here. Make sure that is locked tight. And then we're gonna get the camera plate that's gonna go to the bottom. Personally, I like using a wide angle lens, a 15-35 or a 24-70. That'd be great. 24-70s usually tend to be a bit sharper for me. So I usually will use those when I can for smaller games, but then a wider angle for bigger games. I'm gonna face this camera towards me here, and we're going to lock it in place. So this camera has a base plate, which works actually with a lot of tripods, and it's gonna go here. The ball head though, the one I'm gonna link down below, does come with its own back plate. So we're going to close this up. And the ultimate test, before you let go of your camera, you wanna make sure you do this. See how I am pulling it forward? This is the ultimate test. As soon as I can pull it forward and it's not going anywhere, then you are set to go. If you pull it and it comes off, then you know that you clamped it at a weird angle to the point where this only held on to one side of the base plate. Sometimes it will be a little bit crooked and it'll hold on only to one place, but ultimate test, pull it forward. If it doesn't go anywhere, then you are good to go. Last thing you need to do is make sure you balance this and put a sandbag on the other side. This is actually the last step, which is just putting the water bag, ideally, on this side to make sure that your whole setup is balanced. So we can see how it's slanted a little bit down. So we're going to make sure we're super careful. And in order for you to position this upwards, you're going to hold the camera and then hold this grip really, really carefully and just slowly shift it up and then tighten this really well. And the reason why you want a ball head setup right here is for this very reason. Right now the camera's tilted kind of funny, so because the camera's pointed towards me, I can see exactly how it looks for the layout for the top-down setup, and I can position it any way I want because this is a ball head. So I can literally unlock this lever and then move it and position it any way I want until it is straight and level and perfectly flat to the surface. I also like this setup and for this particular camera because if the battery ever runs out, you can just pop open the lid and lock in another battery, turn that back on, and there you go. So now on my end, this is what it looks like. I'm looking at the entire board forward. I would have one tripod right there facing towards me, and I'm always scanning upward because I am making sure that this camera right here is on, and I can see and monitor exactly what I'm doing by looking through this monitor over here. And there you go. So again, we have the base, we have this riser, which is a 40-inch riser in this case, it can go as high as you want. And then attached to that is a grip head, because this grip head clamps to this riser and it also holds on to the steel boom arm. On the left side of the boom arm is a hook where we put a sandbag. And then if we go to the right, we go this way, this way, this way over here. We have another grip head on this side, and that grip head is attached to the steel boom arm and also has a spigot. That spigot twists into the ball head, and the reason why you need a ball head is that way you can adjust the camera in 360 degrees. That way it can make it as level as possible for a clean and classic top-down setup looking directly at the game. And you definitely want to use a telephoto for this too, because if I ever need to, zoom in and zoom out, I can do that. So if we're looking at the model over here, right? This is how I zoom in, zoom out, makes things super easy. You have a wide angle lens, look at your entire view. See the entire board with so much space. Maybe I want to punch in to show a card or something, and I can put that over here. So yeah, I hope that helps you in some way. This is the guide that I would have wanted from the very beginning, because trust me, it is so hard to find a top-down setup specifically for board games too. It's just a lot of times they don't cover this entire field of view, and there's all kinds of pieces and all kinds of C-stands. This is, it may not be the best setup and the most cost-efficient setup, but it is one that has definitely been reliable for me personally on professional shoots and on home shoots too. So I've had this for 6 years. This final setup here is $452 with the turtle base, or you add on the wheels in this case. So $452 plus $155, whatever that number ends up being, $600-ish. $600 divided by 6 years, about $100 a year, which, it's fairly cheap compared to that camera alone, which is $7,000. Imagine breaking that. You can afford a bunch more of the C-stands. So if there's one thing you don't skimp out on, try not to skimp out on the C-stand, because this is what's holding your precious setup up top. So get something reliable. Doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing, but at least you know the bases. You need a base, you need a riser, you need grip heads, you need that ball head mount, and then you're good to go. So anyways, I hope you all found this helpful in some way or form. If you made it here, go and comment base, because we always need a strong base right here and right here and right here to make good board game videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.